multiple organizations. I just like to, have this example where I've created fun names like Llama Llama and, storybook characters and stuff like that. So, um, what I do want to focus on today is this screening management section. That's the part that's going to help you with, relaying results in a very comprehensive way to all the families. And I think, when we do that training for the teachers or at a future time, we can certainly dive more into like the teachers printing reports and how to use the information and stuff. But today we'll just focus mostly on how to get those results back to parents in a quick, easy way with everything they need kind of in one shot. So when you click on screening management up at the top, you'll come to this page and you have some options over here on the left. This is the same page that you would see like most recent screenings that got done. I do use the task feature in ASQ Online to remind myself when they are due to complete another screening, like I said, in 2 months or 6 months. So those screenings would pop up here. But we're going to focus mostly today on documents and packets over here on the left-hand side. When you go to view print documents, this will bring up a plethora of documents. A lot of them are ones that are just included in ASQ Online when you have an account, all provided by Brooks. But you are also able to create, with this tab here, you're able to create documents. A good way to differentiate is that anything that says system is something that Brooks created. If it says program, it's something that a person from the program created, either myself or yourself. You can search for those or do this drop-down menu to just see the program ones. So for example, if I choose program, these are letters that I made and put in here to then take these documents and put them together to make a packet. So that's why I'm starting with documents first, because then once you have all the documents you need, you can put them together in a nice packet to give to parents, basically. I basically created letters for every scenario of the ASQ3 and ASQ SE, whether it's above monitoring, below the cutoff, for each of those. Once it's created, so even if you did have me make these for you and put these in your account, you could go and edit them at any time. So they're not set in stone once they're in there. They can be deleted, they can be edited. For example, for this child that was above the cutoff for the ASQ3, can you still see that? Okay. So the letter basically just says, and it's nice because when you create these documents, it will pre-populate with the parent's name, your organization, all that stuff. So it'll pre-populate for each child that you're creating this document or later a packet for, basically. Obviously puts the correct date in there. For somebody that scored above on the ASQ3, it's basically, celebrating your child's reaching other developmental milestones. Attached are the questionnaire results along with some age-appropriate activities to help support their development. So this document was made knowing that it was going to be put in a packet with the results and activities, basically. We always put in here for any of our partners that if they have further questions about their child's development, they can contact us. If it's an organization that's going to do all the follow-up and, anything further, you don't necessarily have to keep that in there about Help Me Grow. It's just nice to let parents know that there's another resource too that they can call if they want to, keep doing it more frequently or something like that. So that's an example of what the letter would look like that you created. I'll show you quick how you would create one. I cheat these days. After I created them for one program, I can now go to that program, copy and paste, and put them in all our other programs. Because again, it's got this nice, what do I want to say? So if I hit edit on that one. So it's going to ask you to give it a name. So you want to give it a very descriptive name so you know exactly what it's for. This is a parent letter. It's under the category of follow-up. So it could be screening, follow-up, or other, and which questionnaire type. But it's nice because anything, I don't know anything about, and Emily will attest to this. I don't know anything about writing code, in computer language. But this kind of does it for you. So anything that you want to insert that you want it to populate with information from your program or a child, there is, I know it's probably hard to see, but there's this little picture of a baby here and a drop-down menu of dynamic content. So anytime you choose something from here, it will put it in those brackets, and those brackets mean it will pre-populate for you. So again, this was literally just copy and pasted from one of our very first partners that I created these for. But yeah, so it'll pre-populate. If you have a logo in your program, it'll have the logo at the top, program name, address, the date will populate, caregiver first name and last name, their address, starting the letter with dear and their first name. And then this is where you might want to edit it also. This would have their provider name. So if you listed a teacher as a provider, it would have the teacher's name show up at the bottom and a phone number. Jill, you might want it to have your name and number or something like that. If that, depending on who you wanted the parents to contact, you could change that too. So that's nice that you can, again, even if I put these in your program, you're welcome to update them and edit them in any way that you choose, basically. So that's a list. Now, yep, if I take away document and just go to system, again, probably a lot of the stuff that you're already using, you have access to the questionnaires right in here. So you probably know, like, instead of making photocopies out of the box, you can print a nice fresh one online here. It'll immediately ask you what interval do you want to download. So that's super helpful. It's got so much. So obviously you can't really use everything, but within here you have all those great activities, the English learning activities in here. You have, or this is it for ours. I know you guys have a lot more because you do have the Spanish ones and everything under yours. I don't have all of that under mine, but yes, very importantly, the learning activities. I'll show you in a packet what I use, but I usually always include this Hello Parent sheet because it kind of tells them how to, go about doing the activities with their child. I always like to use the intervention activities, especially for the students that are monitoring or, below the cutoff, maybe on the ASQ3. And then you probably know you have all those awesome tip sheets from the ASQ SE2 in there too, everything from sleeping to feeding, positive discipline, routines. Some of that stuff is awesome just to have out at back to school nights and stuff like that. I always have the routines and positive discipline when I go to table at things. So those are just the two that parents gravitate towards. Some of the other ones, like the feeding ones and the sleeping ones, are by like age group. So it's hard for me to have everything out on the table, but those two, the routines and the positive discipline, are kind of for all ages and just really good information. There's even a getting ready for kindergarten one, I think, a media one. I know that's like a hot topic, technology and media these days. That's a good one to have out. But yeah, such a wealth of information just provided by Brooks, which is really nice. So now basically what you can do, and I can also put these in there for you too. And you, again, have every opportunity to delete and edit them. And I'll show you that as well. But now that you've got documents, the system documents and the program documents, you can put them into what's called a packet. These are already broken up nicely for you. System packets, again, something that Brooks has generated. As you can see, you can't delete those. They're just always there. You don't have to use them though. And then I've created program packets, basically a packet for every one of those documents I had. So there's another page, excuse me, here too. So there's 6 different documents, again, for every result that you could have on the ASQ3 and the ASQ SE. Once you make them, again, you can see, you can view it. You can generate the packet. That's when I'll show you that in a minute. We've got about 15 minutes left. I'll show you how, which is the biggest part, that you can mass generate these packets for children. And they'll go into like a little zip drive for you where you can print them out or email them individually. Or you can do them one at a time, if it's just a one-off, or, you're getting them in, maybe not in mass amounts, but there is an option to do both.
So this would be good to do, and I don't know if they would prefer probably hard copy at parent teacher conference. Yeah.
That's what it's perfect for.
Yeah.
Yep, you can either, yep, print a hard copy, so a teacher can literally just hand it right to the parent if that's how they're timed, you know, with the ASQs first and then parent conference. But yes, also it coming as a PDF, you could also email it to parents too, so that would be whatever. But you're right, parents do like, especially if you're including some of those tip sheets and stuff too, parents do like to have that, you know, packet to leave with. But these are packets that I've made, and then you can go to view and see what's in the packet. So again, that's my letter that I created. Again, that's the only program thing I'm using. That's the only thing I created that I'm using. Information summary sheet refers to that first sheet, you know, that pops up for the ASQ3 with the stars on it, or the score for the ASQ SE. It doesn't print out the whole thing. That would be something that we can look into if you do think the parent wants back the whole thing, but at least
No,
that's giving them.
I think most people just want to see where their kids
Mhm.
score in the
Yeah,
5 domains, you know,
yep,
just where's the star? Is it below
yep,
monitor or above?
yeah. So in an effort to not overwhelm them, yep, here's
Right.
just the summary sheet.
It's
Yep,
enough
super easy.
information.
And then, as you can see here, this is for above the cutoff, so I'm just including that hello parent sheet that goes with the learning activities, and then the learning activities. And if you don't already know, it will auto-populate the correct learning activities for the child's age. So again, it looks at the child's profile, sees what age the child is, and puts in the correct activities for them, which is great. So again, I created one of those for everything. The only thing that I changed that was a little bit different is for something like ASQ3 below the cutoff. I included all the same things, but I also included a little bit extra those intervention activities. So I do that for below and monitoring. You could add it to the above the cutoff ones too. Again, you can add anything you want. So let me just go back to that and show you. You can, so that was just viewing it, but you can edit it anytime too. And that will, the little arrows help you like move it where you want it to be in the packet, up or down. Down here, you can find if there's something else you want to add. Like if you think every parent wants a specific tip sheet, maybe you could add that tip sheet to all packets or something like that. You just need to find it down here and hit add. It'll initially show up at the bottom, just for example, and then you could move it wherever you wanted it to be in the packet, but I'm just going to remove that because that's not what we want. So yeah, you have the opportunity to edit anything that's in those packets if I'm going to go and create those for you as well. And they're pretty easy to make your own. Under create packet, same thing, it's just going to ask you to give it a name. Include in family access means that that's something they would get immediately after like completing the questionnaire via family access, which personally from using it, and I don't know if you agree or not, Jill, I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend you guys, you know, looking at it first and things like that before they get that right away and kind of be able to fine tune it for them. And it's also nicer to get it from somebody than, you know, and again, they might not have a printer, they might not have a way to view it easily. So
Yeah.
but again, you can create your own by giving it a name. And as soon as you start adding stuff over here, and again, you can look under program ones for the ones that I'll put in there to create for you. If you want to see all of them or just see the system ones, you can put that in there too. And all you got to do is add, and they'll start popping up over there, and you can move them around to where you want them and then hit create if that's a new packet that you want to create.
Okay.
Any questions about making the packets or editing the packets?
Nope.
Awesome.
It's good. Yeah.
So I'll show you real quick in our last 10 minutes, just how you can then take this packet. I'm just going to go back because I don't want to save that one. You can take a packet that's created and generate it for 1 to multiple students, basically. So I'm going to take, for example, the ASQ3 below the cutoff and go to the generate tab. And it takes me to this page. And again, if you're not already familiar at the top, it just kind of lets you know like what path you've taken to get here. So you can always go back if you need to. But the thing that I often have to remind users to do is if you're looking to generate some packets for children that have completed screenings, you have to go to the completed screenings tab.
Okay.
And then it will show you any children that have screenings in here right now. So anybody that you want to add, and remember, we're doing the ASQ 3 below the cutoff. Okay, it reminds you right up at the top, because I often forget what one I clicked on. ASQ 3 below the cutoff. So I'm looking for any children that got below on the ASQ 3. And it's nice, it does remind you here, you don't have to remember. So I want to add both Pete the Cat and Mama Llama to this printout or this download. Gonna hit add. And you'll see right in the middle, it's so small, a lot of people miss it, is this print packet 1. But I also want to add Llama Llama. So as soon as I do that, it's going to say print packet 2, and then you click on that. Just as a little drop down of, are you sure these are the ones you want to? You can remove one if you did one by mistake. And then, but if you're sure those are the ones you wanted, you say print packet.
And if it's helpful, I think you can sort by the category name. So if you went to the results and clicked those 2 little arrows, you could have B be at the top. So then all of the kiddos who scored below the cutoff would
Okay.
actually appear at the top of the list, so that you
Nice.
wouldn't have to go through the entire list of kiddos.
Yes,
Say you did
okay.
like a massive screening event, and you could click
Okay.
those to select the first
So if we
15 names.
create these packets, Jen, then all the teachers would have to do is we'd give them the path that they would take on how to generate, and they can print them all out before parent-teacher conference.
Yeah, it
And then
really
they'd
is
have
that
them all.
easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So again, if you download it as a PDF, it's just going to be one PDF. And I mean, if you're going to print them, you could easily do it that way. When you do download zip, that's where it's going to give you, you know, a little folder and with those 2 separate ones in it. So
And then you just save it like to your
yep,
desktop.
you would just save that one. Yep, wherever you want to save it, folder or desktop, and then have the ability to print it, you know, anytime that you wanted to, basically.
Okay.
Oh, I'll go back to where Emily and generate. So yes, if you wanted result type, oops, I'm on the wrong tab. Is that where it does it, Emily?
So yeah,
Yeah.
so you'll have all the monitorings or all the below kind of bunched together. Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
it's just not really doing it because I only have 3 in here probably, right?
Yeah, I think right now
I
it's got descend or ascending rather than descending. So if you
Got
click
it.
the arrow again, maybe it'll be
I don't
oops.
know, it doesn't do
Oh,
it for me.
sorry.
But does
Maybe I'm
it
a
do it
liar.
if you want, like if you wanted to? I guess I'm just trying to think, like if you wanted to do, can you pick 2, like the questionnaire and the result?
Ooh, I don't know. I've only ever done it with 1, to be
Okay,
honest.
because I
We
would
could try.
want like ASQ 3, for example. Well, these are all ASQ 3.
Hmm.
So I guess that's what I'm wondering, like,
And I think it may automatically load alphabetically, but if
yeah.
you know, if you wanted to somehow start at the bottom.
True, yeah, if you wanted to do by, yeah, child name, or you can do it by provider too. So if
Oh,
you do
that
by
would, yep, that's another
teacher or
thought.
classroom, yeah, that'd be
Mhm.
great. That'd be great.
Could do zip drives for each teacher. Oh, that's time consuming.
Yeah, but you imagine it might take a
But
little
you
bit to
could.
download, but it would only
You-
be like checking a bunch of boxes and then it
You
would
could
be,
do it, yeah,
it would be
okay.
there. You could do it. So, yeah, so that's it in a nutshell. But like I said, I have videos, quick videos that I can send you just as reminders. It's also something you can, you know, that's something we would share after. You can share these anytime, you know, the training, because, you know, it's something your teachers could have as a resource too, just as a little reminder how to do some of these things.